Okay, so I've been experiencing sound issues recently, but I want to upload these videos. So I'm just going to try and speak loudly, and hopefully that will make some difference. I've been thinking a lot recently about Bigfoot and the whole Bigfoot phenomenon, Sasquatch, to a lesser extent Yetis, and here in China, the Yeren. I've just come across a video of that, focusing on the Shenongjia um, National Park in Hubei province. It's a very interesting subject. There's a guy who I will make a reference to here. Matt Squatch presents, I believe his channel is called. Very good channel. Check it out if you're into this subject. Um, I'm the sort of person that goes through sort of phases, so I'm not like um, really into this subject, but it's the sort of thing. The last few days I've been looking at it, and it is interesting. If we go back to 1967, the famous Patterson-Gimlin footage. Um, there's been a huge amount of analysis of that. It's one of the most famous pieces of cryptid footage ever recorded, up there with the Loch Ness Monster. And to this day, no one can satisfactorily prove that it is fake. There's been studies done with guys in gorilla suits and so on, and it just hasn't been proven. Now, just to play the devil's advocate on the other side, and this is an interesting point. A professor who led a research team in 1961 in the Chinese case in Shenongjia Park made the point that these creatures, where they have been seen, tend to be individuals. So if they do exist, they would have died out by now, because as the individuals died out, then there would have been no sort of hereditary thing going on there. On the other hand, if they are very reclusive and there's a sort of family unit, you could sort of imagine the alpha male goes out to get food, something like that. My own feeling is, looking at all this stuff, I think there is definitely some things out there in terms of evidence, in terms of um, information that we have, that it's hard to ignore. Um, I think if they do exist, they're very rare. But there is one thing worth bearing in mind. Until relatively recently, the mid 19th century, people both in China and in the West believed that pandas were a fictional creature. Now, today, we can see pandas. I've seen four in the last month at Guiyang Zoo and in Hangzhou Zoo. So we know pandas are real animals. So is it so far fetched that if these, I mean, pandas are strange looking creatures. They're furry, they're black and white, they're unusual looking animals. So is it really far fetched that there may be certain creatures out there that are so rare that there simply hasn't been enough sightings and enough proof to indicate that there is an existence, and yet they may well exist? I mean, some of the locations, take the Cascades region of the Pacific Northwest United States. It's a huge region, and it's relatively sparsely populated. I mean, the states of Washington and Oregon are both about the size of the United Kingdom, and yet only have a fraction of the population. So when you think of it in that sense, I think it's very plausible that there may be something out there. And like I said, the Patterson-Gimlin footage, a lot of people have put a lot of analysis into that, and there still remains mixed views on the credibility of Patterson and Gimlin as individuals. I believe Patterson was the first to die shortly after the footage in 1973. But Gimlin to this day is still alive. I believe is in his 80s now. Maintains that what they saw was not faked, was not hoaxed. People have said that it was a financial scheme, something to do with that. It's a bit like the Travis Walton case, the Travis Walton UFO abduction case. Keeping with the paranormal, people have said there was a financial thing going on there. They were under pressure from the logging company. They had to make something up, etc. I think even if there are examples of fake things happening, the fact the prospect of a relic hominid being out there. I mean, there's things that just can't be explained. Casts of large feet, they could be faked, I guess, but for me, I'm keeping an open mind on it. I mean, it's very difficult to believe that there is a Bigfoot in the sense of like that comedy film. Harry and the Hendersons, which, by the way, was a very good film. But I think we have to keep an open mind. And it isn't just the Patterson-Gimlin footage, it's just the common sense aspect of it. That in such a large area, we cannot be absolutely sure that we know everything. You know, human beings have occupied almost every part of Earth, but there's still vast regions that human beings don't occupy. And I think it's a very interesting subject. So let me know your thoughts. Bigfoot, what is the plausibility of this? I'll leave deeper analysis to those videos I mentioned, like Matt Squats presents. He dedicates a lot of time to this stuff, and I think he's very professional the way he goes about it. Very interesting channel. I would check it out. If you haven't seen the Patterson Gimlin footage, check it out. It's very famous. But basically, they were out Bigfoot hunting, which has raised a bit of red flags for some people. But they were startled. They came across this creature. Some have said it's a bit suspicious that it wasn't running away. I've always been a little bit wary of that. It is a little bit strange that the creature seems so calm. You know, it looks at them and then just continues walking it. It's not running. That's a little bit strange to me. I would have thought that a creature that wasn't used to humans would be running away, but then again, maybe it is used to humans. Maybe it's not scared of humans. Who knows? But I'm sure there would have been a time when Westerners who had never explored, I mean, if you go back to Elizabethan England and described a gorilla, people would have said, "Oh, that's totally, that's crazy. It's blasphemy." That would have been, they just wouldn't have believed it. Not because they were scientific, they weren't, but because they'd never seen one. So just because the vast majority of us haven't seen a Bigfoot, I think we shouldn't be closed-minded and just dismiss it as, oh, it's all, cryptozoology gets, it kind of gets associated unfairly with, people who are a bit quirky, and I think we need to be open-minded. There's that panda situation I mentioned. We didn't think pandas existed, and they do. So that to me is a very thought-provoking concept. Let me know your thoughts.